Welcome to the first episode of Uncommon Stories of Common People. When we were thinking about this podcast, the first thing that came to our mind was that each one of us has a story. Each one of us has an experience that makes us. Each one of us has a story that has framed us the way we are. So, if it's a story that we like for ourselves, why shouldn't it be shared with those that we care for? So, as a team, we decided that we will start to interview or we'll start to bring out the very true stories of the common people, the uncommon stories that have been unheard of, but they have made significant changes in somebody's life. So it's basically to introduce everybody to the motivations, whosoever has access to it. Our first guest at Uncommon Stories of Common People is Dr. Alka Kalra. She comes from a very, very professional, high psychology background. She has doctorals and postdoctorals in psychology. She has been the winner of several accolades. And the entire journey, the entire duration of the tenure that I have known her has been an experience, has been a learning. So this podcast will definitely bring forward the stories from her life that has been life changing for many that have known her. And of course, with this podcast, it will be available for those who haven't known her yet. So look forward to it, and I look forward to it to share it with everybody. Thank you. Welcome to the first episode of Uncommon Stories of Common People. So, Dr. Alka, thank you very much for your time here. I have known you for many, many years. I've known you ever since I stepped into the land of Emirates. So, I would like to really share that a lot of learning has been over the 17 years that I've known you. A lot of learning each time that I've spoken, a lot of learning each time we have conversed and connected. So I always found that there is a story that each one of us carries in our heart, but there are stories that build us. And I truly believe that your story is very uncommon, very, very uncommon. Something that I connect with, something that gives me warmth and strength. And my entire perspective of the episode was that let's share this story with those who do not have the privilege to reach out to you, because I know you're a very busy person. And for you to create this time today, it's a privilege for me, really a
It's
privilege.
my pleasure. It's certainly a pleasure.
So, to my audience, to all the audience today, I really want to share your educational background. It's a huge background, but I've just picked up like few points from there. So, you recently got the Social Worker of the Year award at Museum of the Future, Dubai, which
Yes.
is honorable. Really, hats off to you. It's honorable.
I believe so, and I'm really thankful to the organizers and to the country at large, because I think Dubai is a very, very small place, and whatever little you do, it is being noticed. Yes.
And knowing your professional background, I don't think it's little. So, Dr. Alka, you are doctoral and postdoctoral in psychology. You've done your master's in psychology. There are lots of degrees connected, a lot of accomplishments, a lot of awards. The one that I've always been and I feel very impressed with is your All India Best National Cadet, and that you were given by the late Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So, when you come from such knowledge and so many honors and so many accolades attached to your name, I can only say that this is truly a privilege. So, would you like to share some more highlights of your professional background?
Well, I've been in UAE for about 3 decades now, and I'm a licensed psychologist, and I love to work with people, and that's it. And I have my own center known as EduScan, which has 3 verticals. So we have a center for children of determination, which is my passion and very, very close to my heart. I strongly believe that leaders are not born but made. So we have a very strong leadership training program, which is our summer camps, winter and spring camps, which we tie up with the schools and do it on the school campuses. And of course, assessments, psychometric assessments. So know where the challenge is in a child's life, or for that matter, even adult's life, and then rectify and see that people are operating to their optimum possible performance. So we do a lot of training programs all across the world, travel and train. But primarily in Dubai, these are the areas I work on.
As I said, that your profile has been always impressive. And the best part of our story, like, how we connect is something some relations and some connections, you really believe that it's a destiny bringing your chords together. So for me, like my mom traveling next to you on a flight from Delhi, and just a normal exchange of a business card, and I'll end up in your house 17 years back in Abu Dhabi. And then my
Right.
daughter's first primary school was your nursery. And
Exactly.
that's where we discovered that she could sing at the age of 2. She could actually dance, and today she follows that as a passion. So it's been, and
Very
then
true.
also, like I would say that the milestones have been connected with you. Like her first song release was
Yes, on the
by you
Eduscan
here with
platform.
the
Yes.
on Etiscan platform. So, and when I talk about her childhood and when I talk about our connections, I do realize that each one of us has something from the childhood that comes up and becomes our like favorite memory and stuff like that. So, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Well, there are plenty of memories, to be honest, Imneet, but one which I cherish a lot, or probably I'll see that when I'm in my downs and when you really want a quick uplift of the mood, is the evening where where you see the Prime Minister of India so close to you, and that her fragrance, her aura, her positivity make you feel so important. So I think this is one memory. I mean, being at the national level and receiving an award is altogether a different thing. So I think my participation in the Republic Day parade, which was in
Wow.
1982, and then followed by the Prime Minister's rally, those memories are immense.
See, I just said that each time I meet you, there is something to learn. Now, I knew that you had the award, but I didn't know this depth of it, and this gives me goosebumps. No, really, I can imagine, or maybe I cannot imagine being there and with the Prime Minister, and So yeah.
And Mrs. Gandhi was a very wonderful personality, and I
Oh
think
yes, yeah,
as young kids we all looked up to her, and
100%. Yeah,
I think that is what is one of my most cherished
memories.
memories.
Wow. Um, like of course it's a contrast from what I just asked you, that from childhood memory, if there is one thing that you think you would be remembered for, of course I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit more about your life, about your story, because as I always say that there is a lot of learning in that. But in one thing, if you would like to be remembered as, what would that be?
For being a source of bringing happiness in the life of the people who get connected to me. So I really want, your life as a human being is good Lord's blessing,
Yeah,
and what may happen up or down, ups and downs are the part of life.
yeah.
But if we are able to bring in happiness in the people around us or who come in touch with us, I think that's the best thing I would want to be remembered for.
I think you can count me in. That's the one way that I remember you. If I go down, I know whom I should call, because I know
Thank you
there's
so
always
much,
that
Imneet.
one word, that there's one sentence which will be like, it's okay, until the time you're dead, or even if you're dead, there is something still to look forward to. So yeah. I'm going to ask you a very vague question, but it has been one of my favorites. What's an insult you have received that you're proud of?
So this takes me back to when I was doing my master's in psychology. So it connects to your previous question, actually. So when I was All India Best Cadet, we were sent to Canada. So I was, in my era, if you're a good student, so either you think of becoming a doctor or an
Yeah,
engineer.
yeah.
There was nothing else.
Or get
So
married.
exactly. So I was, with the grace of God, performing well in academics. My elder brother was already in a med school. Younger one was all set to go for his IIT. So parents said that probably where they were, there was no professional college, but the university had an maths honors. So I was doing my maths honors, and then I became All India Best Cadet, and I was sent to Canada. And there we were for 6 months, we had to choose a project and work with someone. And I happened to choose a project to work with a psychologist. And that typical teenage, not that I really studied. So there were little descriptions given to us about, so we were 7 of us, 4 boys and 3 girls, and each one had to, so people were reading the description, and I was that bindas kind of girl. You people choose whatever you want, what is left I will do it. So I think it was destiny, probably the God planned it. So I happened to get that because nobody took that. And I started to work with the psychologist Martha Stenton. She was a young, dynamic in her 30s, and I was like a teenager. So I used to do a lot of hero worship. And that was the first time I was introduced to psychology. I loved, so that time we used to have those kind of cassettes, which had the
Yeah, yeah.
pools. And so she said, this is my library of audio library and my books. And you can start to read and do anything. So from there, my sort of intro to psychology started. And by the end of my exchange program, I chose that I want to be a psychologist and I want to write a book in psychology and whatnot.
Which you did.
Yeah,
Which you did.
eventually,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. So when I came back and from maths to psychology, it was like psychology
Yeah.
and maths. So, well, parents are from the education industry. They were pretty okay with it, but they said you complete your graduation because you'll miss out on the years which you've done. So I agreed. And for my master's, the very first day, I still remember there were about 100 students, and probably there were about 5, 6 girls, and rest of them were the boys. And the teacher, Professor Purohit, who was A.K. Purohit, I still remember his name. So he was asking everyone that, what's your background? Where have you come from? And the moment I said that I've done my BSc Honours Maths, and then he said, oh, a science student. So you think that you guys know it all, and psychology is not everybody's cup of tea. And he laughed, kind of mocked at me, and the whole class laughed, and it was like, oh my God. He said, think twice, go back to, where you've come from. And he took the introduction of everybody else. And that insult, I think, was so strong that when I did my master's, I was the topper of the university.
There you go.
So that I can never forget.
Even till today. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can totally connect that, the people, the moments that have broken us, they ultimately, it depends on the perspective.
Yes.
Since your perspective has been always positive, so whatever was thrown as possibly a roadblock to you, you used it as your stepping stone. Simple.
Very rightly
Yeah.
said. And I think that is the attitude. So today, being a psychologist, I think life is nothing but your thoughts.
Yeah.
And how you take it, and if you're resilient and if you understand the art of it, life is all fun.
Yeah.
See, if you say, God, don't give me troubles, instead if you say, God, give me troubles, but give me the power to deal with my troubles,
Yeah.
then you're
through.
sorted.
Yeah. Absolutely. At what time of the day do you get your best work done? How much I know, 6 to 8 is my window to catch you. After 8 a.m., I cannot reach you.
You're right. I'm an early bird, so I'm up by 4:35. So that's the time. So when everybody in the house are sleeping, so all my plannings, all my projects, all my thing happen because no phone calls.
Yeah.
So early morning is my best time.
Right. There are moments that break us. But again, as you rightly said, that, these are also the moments that construct us. Would you like to share some of your challenges? I'm aware, but of course,
okay.
I want our audience to know few.
Well, challenges, I would say that each day there is some or the other challenge, but one or two of very, very important challenges. I remember the memories take me back to 1986 when I got married, and I got married in April, and Jan, my husband, met with an accident. And from there on, he was in the hospital for almost full 1 year. And there were days when doctors will say that he will not survive. And I think that was one very, very difficult period. Like you're settling with the new family, the new job, the new place, because everything has changed in your life. And then comes this big kind of a blah. So that was the first one. And then after, of course, my daughter, Shobika, who was a super achiever, as a kid, was a performing kid. And when she was in her teens, she was about 12 plus 13. And then we got to know that she has a terminal disorder.
Yeah.
So that was the second one. So there have been plenty, but I think these two are the main ones, yes. But she's still there and she's doing very well.
If I can highlight on this very well, because I know you're very modest with your words. I know, like what Shobika has done with what life has given her is not what everybody can do. Like she is the
True.
superpower behind Wings of Angels. She's
Yes.
one of the persons that I would say that she's a young girl, but the way she has handled her life, she is it. You know, there is very nice saying that you don't focus on the cake, just the missing piece. You just focus on the whole cake, and I think she's a living
Right.
example of that. That even if one part went missing, which is not small part, it's a big part, but still she focused on the rest and how she collected that rest and built up from there. And is today, if
Beautiful.
you when I read, I follow her Instagram, I follow everything. Yesterday, she had a post from Transform Your Body with all these
Okay.
trainers, and she's on her wheelchair, but she's training. And, you know, these things are not something that you skip. It's not one of the posts
Very
that you will
true.
just read and skip. These are the posts that are informative, but they also help you somewhere that, you know what?
Right.
Come on, learn from this person. What a vibrant personality. Like she is, and of course, it
No,
comes from
she
the mom.
is. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember the day when this news was given to me that she wouldn't live more than. I mean, the person who has lived the most with her kind of a challenge, which is Friedreich's ataxia, is 19. So they said that she will not touch her 20. And today she's
Oh, wow.
32.
Bless
And
her.
she says
Bless her.
that, Mel, everybody's terminal, Ma, you're terminal, Papa
Yeah.
is terminal. Who
Everybody
says
is.
I'm terminal? Let's see. And who says, who are the doctors to decide that how long? And she has broken all the records of the challenge or the disorder which was diagnosed when she was just 13. And you're rightly saying, Imneet, it is again your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think she is a role model for everyone, even at home. So that, you know, she's so positive, she's so pleasant.
Yeah.
That at home we don't even see that there is a challenge. And she connects a lot with youngsters and talk to them. And yes, she is a very, very strong girl.
100%. Like, I mean, I know all my connections with her. It's that beautiful smile. It's that beautiful. And the way she, like, even for my children, she opened the doors to her organization. They could go and help her. So, I
Correct.
mean, as I said, that the connections are very deep. So it's not
Very
only what
right.
you and I connect with, it's also how Shobika has connected with the kids and helped them and, you know, given them that perspective that it's if you are special, you don't need to be treated specially. You know,
Exactly.
you are a role model on your own
Very true.
by handling your life the way you're
So you
handling it.
rightly
Yeah.
said that if a piece of a cake is missing,
Yeah.
you either look at what's not there or look at what is there,
What is
because you
there?
still have plenty which is there. And the moment you start focusing on what's there in
Yeah.
your life, it's not only for me and you, but I would say for everybody, all our audience listeners, like life would be different. Just
100%.
change
Yeah.
your look at half empty to half full,
Yeah.
and you will enjoy life. And I think Shobika is a living example. Even Shobika's dad, Mr. Naveen, my
Yeah.
husband, I think he struggled from there on.
Yeah.
And eventually he had his amputation of the leg. And I think at home, if somebody would come, we say that we are such a happy family that
That's
nobody has a time to talk about what's missing. But everybody is
Absolutely.
so focused on what's there.
Yeah.
And I think that is what brings in. So when we talk about wellness and health, and we talk about the physical part, but I think more important is the mental part. So there are people
Yeah.
who are fit and fine, perfect,
But not.
but
Yeah.
emotionally and mentally, there are so many challenges, and
Yeah.
there's so many chaoses happening at the family level. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
think mind certainly matters more than the body.
100%. 100%. Um, so, when you, if we have to give any advice to our audience to live life successfully, what do you think it would be?
I would certainly say that your attitude towards life is very, very important. So you can live as a victim or you can live as a victor. So
Yeah.
that choice is yours. So if you talk about that, oh, this is going wrong in my life, so it is because of this, and you look for excuses and start blaming people who are there, in your psychosocial ambience, then you will always be a loser. So
100%. Yeah.
whether it is your mistake or whether it is not your mistake is not the question. I think bouncing back is very important. So life will throw challenges at you. What is very, very significant is that what can I do about it? So the difference between that a successful person, a winner, probably will focus on the future, whereas a loser will talk about the past.
Yeah.
And past is gone, past is history, past is reality. And the moment you venture more into your past, then only you sit, cry, and crib. So what's the point wasting your time doing that? So my message would be, come on, take responsibility of your life. And responsibility, we can break it into two parts. Responsibility. So your ability to respond in life makes your life actually.
Yeah.
And choose to take the responsibility. So whoever you are, wherever you are, that's your life. So come on, I mean, don't sit, cry, crib, and say, oh, I'm here because of my bad boss or my bad family or my bad education or my bad. It is just your bad attitude and nothing else.
I agree, 100%. There's one thing that I also believe, that when you keep, kind of giving up to people's connections with you or people's energy exchange with you, you are letting them drive you. But, they are not the masters of your car. Be in the driver's seat and drive yourself, because the more you will absorb from them, you might just go the way they probably wanted you to go. So
Very
just
right.
filter your energy exchanges. This is what I always like. This morning I was reading and I wrote like 10 points. It sounded like such a hectic task. But then it's all about energy exchange. You
Very
monitor
right.
who delivers you what. If it is not something that you want in your life, just detour. Just walk
Yes.
away. Simple. You don't have to crib and curse anybody. Just walk away. You will
Very
always find new
right.
pastures. Always.
It's a beautiful message, yes. I mean,
Okay, on a lighter note, if you win 10 million tomorrow, how do you think you would like to spend?
well, now when the children are settled, life, I think God has been very, very kind. So immense gratitude for what is there. So if I get this 10 million, honestly, I'm going to be spending on my passion, and my passion is to work for children of determination. So we do have a center called EduScan, but I still have a long, long wish list. I wish I have a huge campus where we have, multiple areas, the area for vocationalization, the area for testing, the area for multiple therapies with the best of the instruments today. Every day there's something new coming up. I would probably like to have a studio like this in my center for my children so that we can do their podcast and their things out there. I mean, every day I come across something new and I say, wow, this is fancy. So this gets into my wish list. And I'm a strong believer of law of attraction. So I'm making my list and I know it's going to come true very, very soon. And now
So
you've
maybe,
asked. So you never know. So
yeah.
if I have 10 million, it goes straight for my passion and
So
my
our
lovely
next
children.
podcast will be at your studio. Yeah.
Certainly.
Um, when we talk about, because I know you've been awarded multiple times about philanthropy, there are people who do it like literally because they are doing it, because they want to do it. And when I connected to your story, I know that this comes from the heart. I know this is something that you're personally connected with. But what's the
Yes.
most common myth about this field of expertise?
About the social work, I don't really know, but I know about the field of
Psychology.
psychology as such because when we were young, we thought so all our professors, people say that, if you're a psychologist, you can read me. And if you're a psychologist, then you're, you're in your own world and you're a little crack. So
At those times, yes,
yes.
probably, yeah.
I mean, that is what it was. But I think my exposure to psychology was much different. And I think it's a myth. I think because psychologists understand life differently, so you start accommodating people more.
Yeah.
So it's not that you aren't up there or you're a little crack, but I think you're not smart in the sense that you're not selfish.
Yes.
And you automatically, when you understand where the other person is coming from, so if somebody is rude to you and somebody is bad to you, you understand that there is something where in
You
the child
become-
rearing practices or in the psychosocial ambience of the person, from where he's coming or this kind of a temper is coming. So you pardon them for that and you accommodate them. The other person might think that you're mad, you're crack, but you aren't. So I think this is a myth. But I think life is immensely good. It's so beautiful
When you
if
can
you are able to
understand.
forgive people. If you're able,
100%,
forgiveness
yes.
is the biggest help, because you're by forgiving, you're not helping the other person, but actually you're
Yeah,
helping
yeah, yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
in peace with yourself.
There's a very nice quote by Buddha that holding the anger or hatred against someone is like holding a piece of coal, burning coal. You're you're not helping anybody, but you're burning yourself there. So it depends how long you want to hold on to it.
Very rightly
So
said, Imneet. And somebody has said that if you're holding, it's more like a poison. So the poison will first harm the pot
absolutely,
in which it is kept,
yeah.
then only onto someone else. So it should not be there. And the message is very straight to all those, who are listening to us today, is that if you think that you have no control on your anger, I think it's very important that you take some sessions on anger management.
Absolutely,
Or
yes.
in today's world, there's solution possible for every
Everything,
single thing.
yeah,
You name it and you have it.
yeah.
But you should be enlightened enough, or educated enough, or smart enough to look for those solutions, not for others, but for
For
yourself.
yourself,
So if you
yes.
are a daddy who become very angry, and if you're a dad, you throw your tantrum and nobody can do anything because you're the boss of the house.
Yeah.
But that's not right. You're killing the esteem of your own children, which
Yeah.
eventually will reflect back on you. So if that is what is happening, come on. I think high time, take solutions, help yourself by helping others also in turn.
Yeah, 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 definitely. You know, in NLP, we have a very nice saying that people sometimes understand a particular habit that they're carrying as that, okay, this is just my nature. I can't do anything about it. But in NLP, we say that you will only clean the dirt when you understand that there is a dirt. If it becomes a part of you, then you don't identify it. So
True.
open your eyes to identify. If you have a weakness, anger is a weakness. So if you have
Yes.
it, come on, get help for it.
Very true. Very rightly said.
So, what's the most important lesson you've learned over your career? Like, it's a widespread career. If you've been a practicing professional since 30 years, if I get you right here. So, what's the most important personality trait or strength in someone would you need to work? Do you think that someone should have to work in your industry?
So I would say that there are two parts of this question. The first one is that I would say that the strength or the personality trait, if you're talking about uh, not only being a psychologist, actually, for any job, it is your attitude. Because your attitude gives you altitude, it is nothing else. And attitude comes, I would say that it is a 3-step process. It's the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you act. So if you don't feel good, you don't act good. If you don't think good, you don't act good. So if somebody is not nice to you, or if you're not nice to anyone, that's your behavior. That's what is seen. But now, if your behavior isn't good and you start correcting your child, say, for example, his child isn't behaving well, don't do it, this is not expected, it wouldn't disappear, because
Yeah.
you have to go down deeper to the next level. What are the thought processes underlying, and what are the feelings associated with those thought processes? So I think life, if you want to turn it around, you have to go deeper and work at that level.
Not only within yourself, but even for others, right? Yeah.
For anyone, for
everyone.
that matter. So I think your attitude is very, very important. So if you're a parent, think if your child is not behaving well, or if you're a spouse, your partner isn't behaving well, or if you're a teacher, your student isn't doing well, like in any relationship. So I would say that relationship is more like a bank account. So if you haven't put in, how do you expect it out? So it's like a bank. If you deposit in, then a tough time you can withdraw and use it. But you've not been depositing and you want to withdraw. You become bankrupt. You don't have it up there,
Yeah.
isn't it? So it is so important in every relationship that you. And recently somebody was quoting about that nowadays kids are hardly getting any time to spend with their parents. Because now these screens are sort of taking everything away. So hardly an hour. So message, because I do a lot of work with the children, message to the parents would be that be more watchful, be more, aware about what's happening. So please deposit in before you withdraw.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. You know, when you talk about working with children, I work with children as well, but of course, my field is like very much concentrated on the mouth. But in the last 7 8 years, I started to understand that we must listen to the child, even if we connect with them for an hour or so at the max for the appointment. But still, it's important that you understand the psychology. Why would the child cry if everything was being done correct? So this is my firm belief now, that hear them out, because people, let it be a 4 year old or a 40 year old, when they cry, hear them. The least you can do is hear them, and then you work
Correct.
out your steps back. But don't just say that why you are crying, because why is a put off for everyone. So
Yes.
just hear
Or
them
parents
out.
even go up saying, stop crying.
No.
So that's like suppressing their
Yes.
emotion. So
Yes.
acknowledge their emotion, endorse their emotion, that I can understand that you aren't feeling good right now. You're feeling bad, sad, whatever. So I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but of course, like this is my surface knowledge, of psychology. I haven't done deep dive as you have done. But as I always say that, when you connect with the people who have had such vast experiences, even if you rub shoulders with them, you'll still carry some aura. This is a
That's
very,
your kind self. Thank you so
no,
much. But you've
no.
been amazing, and I think you're doing a great job,
Thank you
Dr.
for being
Imneet.
here. I know your time is so tight, but you made this time today, which was very difficult. I know how difficult it was for me to reach you to organize this, but you still
It's my
created this time.
pleasure.
No, I'm so thankful, and I'm sure all our audience are going to be very happy with your words, with your wisdom, and I'm sure they will take this seriously in their life and manifest the
Thank
things
you
that they
so
want
much,
to.
Imneet, for
Thank you.
inviting me here. It's
Thank you.
indeed a pleasure.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks to
care.
you.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us on this journey. Thank you for allowing us to grow and learn with you. So, this podcast has been very, very interesting and very heartwarming to me, and I'm sure it will bring the same warmth and strength to everyone who has watched it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and do click the notification bell so that each time we share the uncommon story of a common person, it reaches you directly. Thank you.